What is up, lads? It's CM9 here. Well, after 3 months of lockdown, after 3 months of the coronavirus completely dominating the entire world, finally, football is back. The Premier League is back. Chelsea are back, and we are back winning. Yes, lads. Yes, lads. It was a narrow victory against Aston Villa. It was a very... I don't know what you call it. It's a so-so game of football, but we got there. We got a victory. We needed those 3 points, especially when everybody around us, Tottenham, United, Arsenal, losing points. Arsenal losing their first 2 games since the beginning of the Premier League after losing against Man City and Brighton. But anyway, enough about Arsenal. Let's talk about Chelsea because, yeah, it was a narrow victory against Aston Villa. It wasn't exactly that... It didn't have to be a perfect game, but we got there. We got there. The first half, though, was an absolute bore fest. The second half, it picked up and we got 2 goals from substitute Pulisic and an absolute beautiful strike from Olivier Giroud. And of course, Azpilicueta getting both assists. Congratulations to our captain, Cesar Azpilicueta. But yeah, let's remind ourselves of the lineup that Lampard went with in this game. So we had Kepa in goal. Back 4 consisted of captain Azpilicueta, Rudiger, Christensen and Marcus Alonso. Midfield, Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek is back into the side. He didn't have a perfect game, but that's fine because he's literally come back into the side. So you got to give him some little slack. He needs to feel his way into the team again. So, but having said that, I'm very, very pleased that Loftus-Cheek is back because he had a very, very lengthy injury. I can't remember what the injury was. I think it was his ankle or his leg or something. But he was out for a very long time, and now he's back into the side, and he's done his bit. So, you know, it wasn't a perfect game for him, but I'm glad that he's back. That's all that needs to be said about him. N'Golo Kante and Mateo Kovacic was also in the midfield, and then up front we had Mason Mount, Olivier Giroud, and Willian. So let's just chat about the first half because the first half was an absolute bore fest. I honestly thought that we were looking at the Chelsea of old. It seemed as though lockdown had not changed anything with regards to our form or any sort of changes that we'd make in our game. I mean, Lampard went with a 4-3-3 here, put Mount further up the pitch. I honestly thought he'd play him in the middle, but he played Mount more forward. But all it was in the first half was pretty much we dominated the game for about 90% of it, possession and chance-wise. But then, well, later on in that half, around about 40 minutes to go, Aston Villa go up the other end. And guess what? They score from what else? A set piece. Would you believe it? Excuse me while I don't get surprised about that. Yeah, it was just the same old Chelsea. You know, it felt as if lockdown hadn't changed anything. You know, United, Spurs dropping points and not looking very good. Arsenal dropping points as they would normally do. And then, well, you know, Chelsea, you'd expect them to sort of capitalise on that. Well, they didn't in the first half. It was a bit of a, you know, just do as much as you can. It has to be said, though, Mason Mount in that first half was excellent putting those crosses in. I thought he literally put it on a plate for some of these guys that just really need to focus on finishing. Like, obviously, Loftus-Cheek has some chances in the first half, which, you know, like I said earlier, you know, we have to cut him some slack because he's literally come back into the side. So, yes, it was an average game from him, but you know, like I said, he needs to feel his way into that side. But guys like Willian and Olivier Giroud in that first half, well, I mean, finishing really needed to be sorted out. Having said that, though, the second half, it looked a lot better for Chelsea today. It looked a lot better. We looked a lot more aggressive going forward. And especially when Christian Pulisic comes on in the second half, I do believe he came on for Willian. He came on for Kovacic, I think. We made 4 substitutions. So Giroud, Willian, Loftus-Cheek and Kovacic came off in the second half and we brought on Barkley, Abraham, Pulisic and Reece James. Reece James came on a little bit later in the game, but Christian Pulisic got the equaliser. And what great positioning to get himself into the box and meet Azpilicueta's cross and then just put it in the back corner, in the back of the net. Great finish. Absolutely great finish. I honestly, you know, we talk about players like Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech coming into this side. Imagine Pulisic, Ziyech and Timo Werner in that front three, honestly, we're going to look absolutely lethal and deadly. Christian Pulisic just coming in and just doing the business. Like I said, just meeting up with the ball brilliantly. I honestly have to give credit where it's due. And Giroud, about 2 or 3 minutes later, completely turns the game on its head with, well, Azpilicueta gives another assist. Giroud in the box, swivels on the ball, perfect strike into the top corner. That's a perfect striker's finish. I really liked it when he did that. It was a perfect finish from Giroud. It was just perfectly executed. But yeah, like I said, 2-1 up going into that. But I honestly thought that maybe somewhere we needed to kill the game off. I think that was a bit of a problem that we needed, because when you look at our defending, or when you look at our defence, the way we're set up, we are very, very vulnerable. And this is what I mean. Like, yes, we've got guys like Timo Werner, and we've got guys like Hakim Ziyech coming in, but we really need to get some defenders in, because I think there was a few moments right at the end, like the last 10 minutes of the game, where some of our defenders started to show some lapse of concentration. Like there was one time Christensen he just didn't know, because I think there was a throw in that Aston Villa made, and then he couldn't control the ball. The ball went past him, and then suddenly Aston Villa have got an opportunity to equalise. Like, we're very, very vulnerable at the back, and that's what I'm worried about. I mean, if this was going up against a side like City or Liverpool, or maybe even Leicester, because Leicester are a pretty good side at the moment, if it was up against those types of teams, and we just showed weakness, that ball would have gone in the net. But, thankfully, he missed it. The ball went past the far post, but if that would have gone into the bottom corner, and Aston Villa would have made it 2-2, we would have dropped 2 points there and then that would have been it. That would have been pretty much our opportunity to get the better of everybody else around us taken away from us. But thankfully, we were able to hold out. I would have liked to have been able to get a third goal to kill the game off. And I think that's what we need to focus on. Focus on our finishing. Focus on that avenue. But also, there's that problem that if we can't finish at one end, at the other end, we're very, very vulnerable at the back. It's just one of those things. But, like I said, I'm very glad that we were able to get ourselves over the line and get 4th place strengthened up. So I can't argue with that, ladies and gentlemen. But the reason why this victory is so important, after 3 months of lockdown, is because, well, who's coming up next on Thursday at 8 o'clock, I believe? Man City. So if we'd have lost that game against Aston Villa, or if we'd have dropped points against Aston Villa today, and then we go into that game at home against Manchester City, then, I mean, I don't really see us getting 3 points against Man City, having seen them absolutely demolish Arsenal 3-0 at the Etihad. So, yeah, it was really, really important to get 3 points on the board today. So, am I pleased? Yes, I am. Am I pleased of the performance? I'm a little bit 50-50. I want to see us improve in certain areas, but I don't know. Can anyone please correct me if I'm wrong about this? But I'm not sure if guys like Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech can get. Well, are they eligible to play for Chelsea during the back end of the season? Because I'm not quite sure, because I think they joined the club around July, and I think during that time I think we're still playing games. So correct me if I'm wrong, but is it true that Werner and Ziyech can play? Because if they can, we definitely need them, because we definitely need to be able to have those right guys available to finish. But let's talk about individual performances really, really quickly. I think the standout players today was definitely N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante, he got booked in the game, but I thought he had a very solid game. I think he made some great tackles in the middle. N'Golo Kante doing Kante things. You can't ask for anything more from Kante. Kovacic was okay. Loftus-Cheek, well, I mean, look, you can, like I said before, earlier, we can accept that Loftus-Cheek had a bit of a 50-50 game, because he's literally just come back. Willian, up front, yeah, I think he's had it, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people just want him to go. There were times when we were 1-0 down where, he had a corner to take and he completely scuffed it. But later on in the game, I think he became a little bit more creative. But for an entirety of the game, you kind of want that guy to be pretty consistent if you want proper goals, if you want to kill a game off. So Willian had his dummy moments, but then later on in the game, his corners looked a little bit better, and his creativity was a little bit better after that, I think. But Willian was 50-50 again. Giroud, well, he got his goal, and it was pretty damn good. It was a fantastic strike in the second half. Mason Mount, in the first half in particular, when we were dominating the game, even though our guys up front were completely scuffing their chances, you have to give credit to Mount, because he was actually weaving in and out of Villa's defence and putting those low crosses in and handing it to the striker on a plate. It's just a pity that we couldn't finish them there and then. And of course, we can talk about our defence. Azpilicueta, great assists. Fantastic assist for the goal. Great cross in for Pulisic to finish. And again, great pass into Giroud to give him that space to turn and shoot. So 2 assists from Azpilicueta, you can't argue with that. Rudiger and Christensen, I'm not sure about this defensive pairing. Rudiger is just so vulnerable. Like, I don't understand why Rudiger is having trouble against a guy like Jack Grealish, who is... In the first half, you have to say, when Grealish got forward, Rudiger was having so much trouble trying to deal with him. And you'd expect Rudiger, with his strength and his mentality, to be able to command a back four. You know, when he's getting done by Jack Grealish, I mean, God, blimmin' hell, man. You need to get yourself in gear. I think if we continue to play like this in the back, if we look so vulnerable at the back, we need to get some defenders in. We really do. Like, we have to sort of like improve somewhere in that defence. It's so frustrating when we get so many chances at one end and then suddenly we just concede from a set piece. It's just unfathomable. It needs to be worked on. I think we have to sign defenders. Yes, we've got great guys in Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech coming in. And I like the idea that maybe Kai Havertz might come in as well. So Lampard is strengthening in that department. But it's the defence that needs to be worked on as well. Maybe Kepa as well might need to get some competition. Competition is important because it makes the rest of the players work for their place. So Rudiger and Christensen and Kurt Zouma needs to be given some competition to improve themselves going into these next couple of games. Because, you know, the games are going to come thick and fast now. So to have a big squad depth is going to be absolutely crucial going into these next games. So the next game is against Manchester City on Thursday. Do I expect to win? Probably not. I would like to see a draw somewhere. But, look, I don't expect to see us winning. If we can get a draw, great. Look, I can be optimistic. I could be hopeful that we can get something. But let's just hope we get some kind of a draw somewhere. If we get a win, great. Fantastic. Because it really makes everybody else around us think. It sends a message out to everybody else. Because everybody else around us have been terrible. Spurs have dropped points. United have dropped points. Arsenal have played 2 games and have lost both of them against Man City and Brighton respectively. So, yeah. We really need to make headway in these games. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I'm sorry if it's all over the place. If you have got any additional things to say about it, leave it in the comment section down below and I'll do my best to try and read everything. And yeah, I'll see if I'm going to get this video up before the London Spitfire NYXL game that I did. Well, I recorded it earlier today, but this will be going up before that one. So, yeah. Thank you very much. It's good to see Chelsea back. It's good to see the Premier League back. You know, after 3 months of absolute nothingness, of complete domination of coronavirus and social distancing and, you know, all this absolute nonsense, it's really good that we finally get to see some football, you know, after a while. You know, we kind of needed it. Because we need something to watch, right? We need to see something to watch over the weekend. And, you know, football tends to be that thing, you know, whether we love it or we hate it, whether we love to see our team win or lose. It's just always nice to see some football, you know? Always good to see it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. And until the next one, I shall see you later. Peace!